All right, folks. All right, I got a special guest for you today. I thought, why not? With everything going on in the world today, I'm going to bring on the General McInerney. I'm going to have him on in just a few moments. Until then, I'm going to ask everyone, please hit the notification buttons, the like button, the subscribe button. Help me help you, folks. I'm doing my best here. This is a full-time thing for me now, and I'm really trying to do my best to bring you all the news on the deep state war, everything happening behind the scenes. I'm doing my best to do this for you. Let me move that right there like that. Boom, there it is, Ninoscorner.tv. Got a lot of great stuff on Ninoscorner.tv coming, folks. So Ringside with Nino is coming. Will be a bi-monthly meetup on Ninoscorner.tv where we talk about everything. Now, if you're in the General's tent and you're in the Major's tent, you get free access to that automatically. But if you want to upgrade from, I think it's $4.99 to like $11.99, go for it. It's going to be Ringside with Nino. It's going to be twice a month meetup for the Black Sheep family, so it's going to be awesome. And before I get into this, folks, I got General McInerney getting ready to come on. He's in the green room right now. A little bit of tech issues at first, but everything's good. It worked out just fine. This is going to be an interesting show because where are we going right now? Where is this all heading? With Russia, with Ukraine, with NATO, with Germany. Germany now has given Ukraine permission to use their weapons for long-range use into Russia. This is getting serious, folks. I don't think you understand this. I've had other guests come on talking about how this could lead to some kind of nuclear standoff, and it sure does look like it's going that direction. Hopefully not. But to get more clarity on that, I'm going to bring on General McInerney to talk about that and talk about what's happening here domestically in the United States from his perspective on the deep state war. So we're going to keep it kind of fluff for YouTube. We've already been on Ninoscorner.tv and done some shows there. I'll try to get the General back on again very soon to do another show on Ninoscorner.tv. But we're going to talk about Russiagate. That looks like it's going to pop. There's a lot of things that are transpiring right now with 𝗬𝗂𝗏 𝗠𝗄𝗃, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, the whole thing. But it has to be strategically and surgically planned. This can't be, everything has to happen with precision, and a general knows this. So before I bring him on, folks, first of all, one of the biggest factors behind aging is a drop in our body's natural collagen production. This collagen drop starts in your 20s, and by your 40s and 50s, your skin looks basically saggy. Just kidding. Look, your skin's sagging for it. Starving for it, sorry. Leading to visible signs of aging. Wrinkles, sagging skin, joint discomfort, and brittle nails. Unfortunately, most collagen supplements on store shelves don't provide the nutrients and absorption your skin needs. This is why I take collagen, and I'm obsessed with how much it improves my skin. This amazing multi-collagen provides the types of premium collagen that my body actually needs to rebuild skin from the inside out. My results are smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a youthful glow, folks. Plus, it mixes easily with my coffee or tea. No clumps. It's really easy to stir. And it tastes great. Actually, it has no taste. It's neutral. So I put it in my coffee. I put it in my water. You don't even taste it. Help rejuvenate your skin with ageless multi-collagen while it's 51% off now. Hit the link down there below, folks. Plus, order today and receive a free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping. Once again, the offer is only available now on the link down there below, and it's for a limited time only. So hit the link and get started, folks. All right, I'm going to bring on McInerney. We're going to have a quick discussion on all this stuff. I'm coming on a Tuesday? Damn, I'm on a Tuesday. All right, let's bring on General McInerney, Alex. General, how are you?
I'm doing great, Nino. Thanks for having me.
It's an honor, sir. I really have a lot of respect for you. Alex, do you want to show his credentials on here? Some of the – well, that's too small for me to read, but I mean, you've got all the credentials in the world, sir. You were Cyber Command, correct? Do I have that right?
No, I was a fighter pilot in the command. I used a lot of cyber. I ended up as the number 3 man in the air staff.
Okay.
Vice President Gore's reinventing government, which Elon Musk is now doing.
So you had nothing to do with any kind of cyber anything later in your later years?
Oh, I had a lot to do. I run an edge cloud, and we store trillions of objects on the battle space. And I'm involved in other things. So I'm heavily involved with the IT world now.
Okay, so that's probably where I got it. But
yeah.
So everything that's happening right now, General, what's your perspective on this? What's your from your vantage point with everything you're seeing? And I know you're very well connected and you can give us a lot of information. What do you see transpiring now that Putin is basically on a revenge course to go in, and I think he's got 50,000 troops on the border. I think they've just taken over some villages in Ukraine. It looks like he's going for a much larger scale in this war. What's your thoughts on this? From your perspective?
Well, it's fast moving, and it's very troubling. Putin has just had a massive air attack, the largest one ever over there 2 days ago. And Trump has never dealt with a person like this who does not care how many soldiers or people he kills. This doesn't.
You're talking about Putin?
Yes. And Trump has never really worked with them in this mode. And right now, Putin is in the killing mode. And he's about to lose Trump. And that could complicate it a great deal. As you said, the Germans authorized use of their long-range weapons there that could reach Moscow. This thing could escalate out of hand if they don't get a grip on it. Plus,
let me ask you this, General. So isn't this also some of Zelensky's fault as well? I mean, we know that they're going head-to-head in this. It looks like it's almost personal at this point. But, I mean, we know about a lot of the shenanigans that have happened in Ukraine. There's a lot of, and I don't want to talk about it here on YouTube, but allegedly a lot of laundering and things like that has happened within Ukraine. I mean, what's your view on that? Do you think Zelensky's just as much at fault here?
Well, he certainly played a role in it, and the Biden administration really let it get out of control. First of all, it would never have happened with Trump. And so trying to identify who's at fault, there's no question that Putin is the invader, but we've got problems there, and Trump is trying to use his personal relationship with Putin, who is really giving Trump the finger with this massive air attack that he just did, and all the innocents who were killed on this. And the numbers, I just listened to General 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗃, who is President Trump's special representative on the Ukraine. And Keith was very concerned with what's going on now. There are over 1 million troops on both sides that have been killed when you add it up. And so we're getting into a condition where Putin may think he can get a bigger haul of it, and that would be wrong, because we really have not used the tools that we have in our chest here, our economic war chest, to have a great impact. I'm afraid we may get there. So you're spot on to want to discuss it, what it's going to do. No one really knows. We know it's getting worse rather than better. We thought that it would get better when Trump got in here and started dialoguing with Putin, but it doesn't appear that way. It appears that Putin's just giving Trump the finger, and I don't want to say he may be taking him to the edge and then trying to negotiate a better deal, but it is a very precarious situation right now.
So, you've heard Trump say, I think he's crazy. I don't understand what Putin's doing here. But, I mean, he did almost get assassinated in his helicopter by drones. I mean, so is this kind of personal now? I mean, which is very, to me, careless, because you don't just send millions of people to die in war because as a leader, you were almost assassinated. But do you think that's where we're at now? This is almost like bad blood?
I think we're getting there if we're not there now. Yes. That does not help the situation.
Do you think Russia is going to go in for a complete attack on Ukraine and just just say forget it. It's all bets are off now. We're going in, because it sure looks like it to me. I mean, and now Germany's saying, you know what, we're going to give more arms to Ukraine, and now we're pulling off all restrictions, and now we're saying, you know, they can use it forever, whatever they want to use it for, to the long range inside Russia, whatever. They're saying they're giving the green light to Ukraine. I mean, to me, this is World War III, General. I mean, I don't really know how to look at this any other way.
Well, it is certainly an escalation. And that's what your point is. And we're trying to let our viewers and listeners understand that it is escalating now with the attempt on Putin's life. And then, of course, the recent attack the last 2 days ago, the massive amount of drones and UAVs and missiles that they fired on, and they were primarily civilian targets. That's the thing that is difficult to understand. And they gained a few more villages, as you pointed out in your opening remarks. So which way is it going to go? It's a very precarious situation, and nobody knows. Nobody knows which way is it going to go.
Russia has announced that the peace deal is basically dead. A lot of people assume or think that Medvedev is really calling the shots now, because they you know, a lot of the whispers behind the scenes is, and maybe you can clarify this, is that Putin's very sick and he's battling cancer, maybe some chemo. He's not making the right decisions. Now Medvedev is maybe controlling the situation. Have you heard anything like that?
Just a little bit about it. You know, I've heard on and off that Putin does have cancer, etc. But so it's this doubtfulness that we're having right now that is complicating the problem. And they were thinking of having, the Pope has invited them to come down to Rome and conduct the talks down there. But Russians don't particularly want to go to a Catholic, the seat of Catholicism, and do it. So all these things are making it complicated. Plus, Iran is making it complicated right now. We're going to have to do something about Iran. And I don't think we have. What do you mean
when you say we're going to have to do something about Iran? I mean, I've heard that 𝗂𝗂𝗏𝗂 is a lot of bombers are showing up there getting ready for something. Is that what you mean by that when you say we have to do something about Iran? Are we getting ready to bomb them or something?
Well, yes. And I think we're going to have to do it to take out their uranium enrichment capabilities. We cannot afford that Iran has that. And so you see they're both related, and we've got to think about both cases. We had, and it may have increased now, we had 5 B-2s down there that can carry 28,000-pound bombs and that are bunker busters. And the B-2 is stealthy. And so it's a very powerful, and they could be reinforcing it now. So we have the assets in place where we can launch the force along with the Israelis. But let's get back on point. What's that going to do with what happens up in the Ukraine? Do we up the ante and give them more long-range equipment, more capabilities? You know, because if we up it, that's where you start going to World War III. We do not want a World War III.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, we just did a mineral deal with Zelensky, and then we're getting ready to bomb Iran. So I imagine Putin feels very betrayed.
Well,
I would think. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that Putin's like, what is this? What are you doing a mineral deal with Ukraine for? What are you getting ready to bomb Iran for? That's Russia's ally. What's your thoughts on that? Maybe Putin's thinking, you know what? They're not playing by the rules. Neither am I.
Well, I don't think the mineral deal is a game changer at all. I think it builds the peaceful process and enables you to do things economically and get things going along where you're not killing people. And of course, the U.S. and our proposal is a 30-day ceasefire. 30 days ceasefire and go in and negotiate it. We've got to get Putin to think that's the right move and that it will benefit him. He's he's got economic problems. He's going to have more. And but that's why you're bringing up the potential of World War III. We could have that. We do not want that. So we've got to be very careful what we're doing. And we've got to get both sides. There's no question that the Iranian issue does have a relationship to what's going on in the Ukraine.
So I've been told to watch 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗂 by Boone Cutler, who's, you know, very close to General Flynn. They said, watch 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂. And I was, okay, what do you mean watch it? Is that because there's a lot of activity happening there right now, and that's where the bombers are going to take? I mean, or is that, could 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗂𝗂 get bombed? I mean, I would imagine that's a target as well. And if that gets struck, then we're for sure in World War III.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty hard target to hit for the Iranians. They could probably.
What if Russia hit it?
But Russia's not going to do that.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there.
Russia's committed elsewhere, and they don't. This is between Iran and the U.S. It's an important base. What it does say is President Trump has positioned the forces so that we can take out all the nuclear potential and, if necessary, the petrol producing facilities. We can very easily take out Karg Island, and then you eliminate all their ability to export energy, which means they can't get any money. So the Iranians are very vulnerable. But getting back on what's going on with Russia, how do we get Russia back in the box and start negotiating? We're at a very critical time. We're at a tipping point, Nino, and it's important that you know that and why you're bringing it up. And it can go either way. It's going to require very reasonable people to work this out. Trump is the only one that can do it. But as you can see, when he says Putin sounds like he's crazy or something, he's reaching outside of the bounds of the reasonable things to say. And so that's why it is reaching a critical stage, I believe, a tipping point that we're going to know.
So it almost seems to me like Trump needs at this stage of the game, and let me know what's your thoughts on this, almost like he needs a Hail Mary, because not only does he need to quell and neutralize World War III, but also what's happening here with the deep state and domestically. So there's a fine balance here. He's almost walking a tightrope because he's got to, like, both sides now can kick off at any time. We got Russiagate getting ready to pop. We got a lot of, 2020 getting ready to pop. There's a lot of stuff getting ready to pop here domestically with arrests and things like that. Am I right in saying that? I mean, it's a fine balance, correct?
Yes.
And if they get what they want, they would love nothing more than civil unrest here in America, correct?
Absolutely. And of course, the Democrats, as you say, all these things are about to pop. It just announced that the FBI, Dan Bongino, is looking into who placed the bombs at the Democratic National headquarters there on the 6th January effort. Why did that disappear? The four-man team that looked at the 13 July assassination attempt came out with a very damning report on the Secret Service. And I believe that was internal, it was domestic, and that's not going to be good at all. And of course, that could reach back up to our, and they're being looked at releasing the JFK and the RFK assassinations. Were they connected with that? Some very, very, Martin Luther King. There's some very damaging things that are coming out now, and President Trump wants to air all that dirty laundry. So when you point this out on the 2020 and everything, it's coming out now, and there's hard evidence on it. And he's got these 2 international fuses that are burning, and they're burning rather rapidly. They could ignite either in Iran or in the Ukraine. So we've got to get a grip on it.
Right. And the last thing we want is for all sides to kick off. So the fuse could ignite, like you said, Ukraine and Russia, and then ignite here domestically. Because what happens really, General, when, you know, I'm trying to war game this in my mind. How is this going to go down to where the first arrest is initiated? How does that even happen? I mean, the MSN's not going to cover it. They're in on all this. So how does this even, when this breaks, how do we stop our country from spiraling into some kind of civil unrest? I've been told that, and I'm here on the border, so I've been told that a lot of the henchmen, the cartels, the immigrants that would have been activated have been taken down, the top heads of the organizations. Behind the scenes, that's all happening. Have you heard the same thing? In order to quell or neutralize any kind of civil unrest that could spiral us into civil war?
Yes. And I believe they're doing that. And that's why they haven't gone openly for it, and why they haven't done all the things that you and I have talked about before, where you're just hearing click of handcuffs. They're going to do it very cleverly, how they try to do it at low profile, but have enough evidence so the American people know that there were major violations, in some case treasonous, against the American Republic here. And so we've got all that going at once. And
it's an exciting time. I mean, do you think all this is going to happen, transpire this year? I mean, it seems to me like this would have to kick off before the 2026 midterms.
I agree. And that's what it's going to, but they may not get it all done. The Democrats, thank God, with their support of, you know, in women's sports and all that stuff, and they're ridding the DEI and the critical race theory and all that stuff out of the service academies right now, and in the government and in the private sector. Lots of jobs are being lost there. You know, he's brought into the country, what is it, $10 to $15 trillion of investment, foreign investment. No president has ever done that in our history. And so he's got a lot of balls in the air and like complicated things. And it's changing. You can just see what he did by delaying the tariffs on the European Union. Look at what's going with the stock market today. It's just booming up. It's very sensitive. Trump has done things that no president has done before. But let's get back on point. Ukraine and Iran are very difficult situations. Iran is a lot easier than the Ukraine. But you've got the potential of what is China going to do with Taiwan?
So if we make a move in Iran and we make a move, well, I guess I don't even know what we can do with Russia. I mean, the peace talks is the only thing that I see that can happen there. But let's say with Iran, we make a move. Do you think that kind of gives permission? China says, you know what, we're going to go for Taiwan now. You did that first. I don't know. I don't know how this plays out. Or I've heard China is at least 2 years away from even attempting to take over Taiwan. Could I be wrong on that? I mean, that's just what I've heard. I don't know.
Well, no one knows. Okay, at least on this side, but they're in a very precarious situation right now economically, and they're understanding that. So there's unrest in China that they've got to be concerned about. Taiwan is 100 miles in the straits there. When I was a wing commander at Clark Field in the Philippines, I had a site up there at 𝗬𝗏𝗂𝗁 that was a nuclear alert site. That, of course, has been taken down, and we've moved the wing out of the Clark Field of the Philippines and all that. But I had that experience with Taiwan. It's going to be much more difficult than the Ukraine is. And look, who would have ever thought that the Ukrainians could hold off the Russians for 3 years almost?
Well, they used our money. They used our money.
That's right. But even with using our money, I wouldn't have thought that they could do what they've done. Now it shows a weakness on the Russian side.
Well, I've been told that it's because Putin was waiting for, I guess Trump to get in and peace talks. I don't know. Have you heard anything like that, or is that complete hogwash?
No, I think he would have. Look, I predicted they'd take it over in 3 weeks. I was wrong. But you know what the difference was, Nino? The precision weapons, where now today a single individual or a team, 3 or 4 men, with a smart handheld weapon can take out armor. Usually armor versus armor, or you had to have heavy artillery coming in. Now with precision weapons and with these UAVs, some of them are only as big as a fist in your hand, that they're able to do a lot more. They've been very innovative, what they've gotten. And so it's a new type of warfare. I've been involved with it with my edge cloud. If you can imagine, if you can ingest every sensor on the battlefield and have every sensor on the battlefield connected to a shooter, so in real time, you can respond right away, and it's a precision shooter.
Wow. So let me ask you this, the way I perceive this, the way I see this playing out is that the globalists really that are using proxies, countries as proxies to get this. And a lot of people say this is conspiracy, whatever. I don't see it as a conspiracy, but as I look at the chess game as a whole, they wanted to ignite World War III. They wanted to ignite chaos and civil unrest in America all at the same time, right? Am I right in saying that? That's pretty much the game here, right?
Yes.
So they were going to use, they knew Trump was going to make some kind of move. So I guess what they were hoping for is to activate cartels, the henchmen, to cause some kind of a disruption in the states, civil unrest, civil war. So Trump is trying to balance all these things, putting out all these fires. Am I over the target here on this?
No, you're over the target. The fact was in the Chinese unrestricted warfare that they promulgated in 2005, and how you could defeat the United States without kinetic warfare, and as we've talked about, cyber warfare. And then when you have anywhere between 10 and 20 million people, there are over 200,000 Chinese men of military age in the United States. And the unrest that they could do, and what they could do with the, have we talked about the Club K containers that were shipped in the United States that have cruise missiles that the Biden administration let happen? And so all these things will create that chaos that you're talking about. We have not seen that unleashed yet. And that's something that's
going to be unleashed, or do you think we're neutralizing it?
I think we're trying to neutralize it right now, but you don't do that in 3 months.
So
and that's the challenge we have.
I've heard here on the border that a lot of these, MS-13 gangs and all that, they're just waiting to hear from the higher ups. But since it's the coordinated effort that's happened here in the operation that's happened behind the scenes, is a lot of these top guys have been taken down. That control these organizations, right? So I'm right on that.
Right.
So that's put a huge dent into what they want to do. I'm not saying they can't, we're not going to suffer some kind of terrorist attack. Do you think we're going to suffer a terrorist attack on Trump's watch?
It's a course of action. But that's when we meet our Normandy, our Battle of the Bulge, our Iwo Jima. You and I, at our age, well, you're a youngster, but at my age, the fact is we've all got to stand up for America if that in fact happens.
Do you think it's a matter of when, not if?
Well, we may get lucky. It's like we got lucky on 13 July. The dear Lord.
But they are planning this, correct? They are planning this.
I think that is a course of action, as we like to say in the military, a course of action, Nino, that they could do and that we must be aware of. And that's why it's very, very important that we get the Ukraine and the Middle East solved.
So I've heard that Putin has a 4-month window, I guess, to do what he's going to do. I don't know what that means. Can you kind of clarify what that would mean? Is it because of the season? When they say a 4-month window, what is that for ground troops? Is that because of its the weather, or what does that mean?
He won't have the winter conditions that he's been under now. And the question is, we'll see very quickly if he wants to deal, if he wants to talk. And that's why it's important, this discussion that you and I are having, we are at a critical tipping point. And it can reverberate in many different ways. In Taiwan and in the United States.
And it could all bust at once, correct? I mean, this could all just unravel at once, right?
Well, yeah, but I think it's triggered to cascade. So if the Ukraine starts going, and then if the Iranians try to go nuclear on Israel, and the Israelis think they're at that point now and they've got to do something. And then you've got what goes on in the United States. And that's why we're rounding up hundreds of them each day. And the guys we're rounding up, Nino, are not just pill pushers that are coming over here. They're the cartels.
Right. I've heard, and I've heard Mexico right now is dealing with its own crime that has just spiked through up to the stars, man, the sky. I mean, it's just the spike of crime right now in Mexico is bad. They're having this. It's starting now. That's why I tell everyone, travel advisory to people that are traveling to Mexico. You got to be careful because this is uncharted waters.
Very careful.
Right. This is something that we don't know how it's going to play out. I don't know. I say keep your ass at home if you do, But General, I won't take any more of your time. I appreciate you. Can I get you on the General's tent on Ninoscorner.tv? Maybe July or August?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I'll get you on July or August, and I think things are going to transpire in a direction that the trajectory looks like it's going to. Do you think, sir, that we will have some kind of a nuclear scare or standoff? Do you think that's coming in our direction?
Well, the potential is very high, Nino. You look at what the Iranians could really do it quicker than anybody. They could start it. That's why I think Iran will have to be taken down first. And I think that has to be done in the next 30 days.
Wow, 30 days.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why you put a time limit of 30 days on it?
Well, I'm trying to imply it's going to be soon. We can't wait 6 months or a year.
Got you. So this all needs to happen pretty damn rapidly, fast. Okay. Sir, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you so much. I'll keep in touch with you on text. Thank you for everything you do.
Great, Nino. God bless you, and thank you for what you're doing to let the American people know what's in front of us.
Thank you, sir. It's my honor. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
God bless you. So, Alex, pretty interesting stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's always really great to get the general's insight into all of this and perspective. Yeah.
Do we have any super chats? Anybody give any super chats?
We do have one here. Yeah, Beverly Adams.
Beverly Adams, thank you so much. Thanks for the love, Beverly Adams. I appreciate it. Yeah, folks. I mean, I'm doing my best to get the information out there. We're in a critical time. I've been watching this. You've heard Juanito come on my show many times and talk about this will come down to some kind of nuclear standoff or scare. It's how we shift from SES to nuclear and beyond. I don't know the details or minutia behind that, folks. I just know what I hear from my guests. I try to put it together for you. Folks, Ninoscorner.tv is a place to be. I'm going to be bringing on the General McInerney on the General's tent. I'll try to bring him on July. 𝗬𝗏, I think I'm bringing him on again this month. I'm not sure. I'll get back to you on that. I think I have him scheduled for this month. I got to reach out. He's very busy right now. And I got many more coming. So Ninoscorner.tv, get over there and subscribe now. I will have Ringside with Nino very soon, where we do a meetup twice a month, bi-monthly. So we'll do it twice a month, and it'll be an hour, and we all war game together. Black Sheep Wargaming. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me. Peace out.